Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome back to another video on Starseed Academy. Today's topic is angels. Are they real? Many of us grew up learning about angels from the stories that we heard in the Bible. Most of the stories in the Bible are about these aloof, very distant and cold angels that were really just sent as messengers or to set people off on a quest. In more modern human records, they report angels saving people in daring rescues and mysterious ways, and they're often around when miracles are present. You can find entire books on these accounts in the library. But when talking about angels, we can't ignore the most famous account, which was of an angel named Lucifer. Many Christians also refer to him as Satan. This angel being decided to pursue service to self above service to others. And all of the reports say that he was cast down from heaven, cast down to earth. So when I hear cast down, that sounds to me like a lowering of vibration. So if heaven was here and Lucifer was cast down and he ended up somewhere lower, then that just sounds like a degradation of vibration. So he went from a higher dimension to a lower dimension. So all of these biblical and religious records just confirm the vibrational frequencies and the dimensional scales. If all accounts are mentioning heaven, then what is heaven? I believe heaven to be just a human label or term for a higher dimension. My intuition tells me it's the 11th or 12th dimension where angels reside. And it's not just angels there, but ascended masters as well, like Jesus and Buddha. The beings in these heavenly or angelic realms are non-physical because their rate of vibration is too fast for them to hold a physical body. So they would be light beings. These higher dimensions vibrate around the truth of unity, of oneness, and this is enlightenment, that we are all one, that we are all from source, and we are all the same. So if you'll remember that we talked about souls in the last video, about finding your starseed origins, and we referred to a soul as a condensed electric energy with its own consciousness, with its own personality that retained its memories and knowledge. And as souls, we move from one lifetime to the other, but we remain the same because we are the soul within the body. We are what animates the body. And so no matter what type of lifetime or body we move to, we are still ourselves. So when you're asking, can humans become angels? Of course, the truth is yes, and vice versa, because again, we are all just that soul within. So we can become many different beings across our millions, possibly, of lifetimes. As long as the soul's rate of vibration is conducive to the dimension that they want to go to, then there would be no issue or reason why they couldn't have a lifetime or an incarnation in that dimension. So as long as your soul was vibrating at the high dimensions of 11 or 12, then yes, you could have a lifetime as an angelic being. Because in the end, we're all just souls. They're also just souls, enlightened, of course, with a higher perspective and understanding and wisdom to them, but still just souls, just like you and me. So because these high vibrational beings have light bodies instead of physical bodies, they can choose to be invisible, or they can choose to take on an appearance. When they choose to take on an appearance, such as when you have a vision of an angel or an experience with an angel, what they're doing is creating a holographic image that is mirroring back to you what you expect it to be. So they can customize their appearance to match your expectations so that you're more comfortable. So if you're expecting, for instance, an angel to have wings or a white robe or possibly a halo, then they can match that expectation for you by projecting that image to you holographically so that you can see them. Since they can choose what they want to look like, they'll choose to look like an angel to you if they want you to know that they're there. This is why you have angels appearing differently throughout the different cultures and different religions, because they teach differences. And so they would all believe that angels look a different way, and so the angels would appear whatever way they were expecting, so that you would know that it's an angel. You'll often see them appearing just as orbs of light, which is the simplest and easiest way for them to appear in their light body. Now, I've had a few personal experiences with angels, and I'm really interested to see if you have had any experiences with angels. So I really hope that you'll pop those experiences down in the comments below for us all to enjoy. The first experience that I'll recount for you I've shared before in my video called Clues from Childhood that you're a starseed, but I'll recount it for you again today since it's right on topic for this video. I had just attended my uncle's funeral. My mother's brother had passed away and it was a very sad time. And we were staying at my grandmother's in her basement in her spare beds. I woke up in the middle of the night with a strange feeling, and there was a light in the room. My mom and I were staying in 2 separate beds, so 2 twin-sized beds beside each other. And when I sat up in my bed in the middle of the night in the dark, there was a bright light in the room. At the foot of my mother's bed, standing there, gazing down at her, was what could only be described as an angel. He was standing in a glowing white long robe, and he had wings folded behind him. He was emitting so much light that it literally lit up the entire room. I remember feeling shocked and a little afraid, so I looked for a moment and then I laid back down and pulled the covers back over my head. I told my mom the next morning and she wasn't really sure what to think, but I believe that it was my uncle's soul visiting my mom, paying one last visit to my mom in this earthly realm. Or at least that's certainly the feeling that I got. I had no reason to make something like that up at such a young age, and I still remember it to today with the details so crisp in my mind, and that's how you know it was really a metaphysical experience. My second experience with an angel is with my own personal guide named William. He's been with me since 2010, and he is so sweet and gentle, and he's always there for me whenever I need comfort. I see him so clearly in my mind's eye, and I was able to determine his name after a few months of working with him. But he never really says very much. He's just very quiet and just there for me to support me. He too appears with wings and soft features, but not so much the glowing or the robe. I also work with Archangel Michael all the time. He's a part of my team and he's someone that I call on often for safety, for clearings, for security. He's like my personal security team, I feel like. Whenever I feel something is off or there's a negative force, I call upon him and he just immediately clears it. I recommend working with Archangel Michael if you're having any issues at all with negative or low vibrational forces invading your space. Archangel Michael's energy is that of a warrior, a peaceful warrior, and definitely an angel of love, but he always comes with a sword in hand, kind of like your own personal security detail. He is a powerful angel with swift and instant action. He always knows exactly what you need, and he can be in multiple places at once. For instance, whenever I'm traveling at night astrally, I ask him to remain with my body, but to also follow me with my soul as I go on my nightly journeys. So he's able to be in those 2 places at once and being able to protect me from both sides. My last angelic account is with that of my higher self. Her name is Hupna, and she actually appears to me as an all gold being. So her wings are big and gold. Whenever I see her, she's always hovering or flying outside of a giant sun, the Grand Central Sun, which is where she lives and works. Her hair and skin, her clothing, everything is gold, even her eyes. I often see her in my mind's eye as a side profile, but a few times she's turned to look at me, and whenever we make eye contact, I can only describe her eyes as this molten gold, like it looks like it's melting. It's amazing. And whenever we make eye contact, I always have a rush of energy. She's just so powerful. She has triggered many Kundalini experiences for me just by being in my space, just by me making contact with her, and especially when she acknowledges me back with eye contact. It's an incredible feeling. What all of these experiences and angels have in common is that they are all etheric, as in they all have an ethereal light body, like a non-physical body. Also, they rarely speak, or at least I can't hear them. When you're dealing with your guides, generally you're speaking through telepathy. And I found that the closer my guide is to my own dimension, the easier they are to hear. So for instance, my spirit guide Amy, who I talk about all the time in these videos, is in 5th or 6th dimension, but very close to me. So she comes across to me as very loud. I can hear her so clearly in my mind's eye, it's almost like someone is speaking right into my ear. But as the dimensions go up, the guides seem to be a little bit harder to hear. And so when you're talking about like the 11th and 12th, some of the highest dimensions that there are, and these angelic beings, they're just so far away from me distance-wise that I do have a hard time hearing their actual words. What I don't have a hard time with though, is feeling their love, their support, and their intention. I always know what it is that they're feeling for me or thinking, just not specifically in a word sense. But I do always feel that all-encompassing protection from them. So I'm just curious, has anyone else noticed that as your guides get further away from you in the dimensions, that they're a little bit harder to hear? Like it's rare for them to actually send words, and instead they just send a feeling of intention or an emotion or a feeling of security and stability. Whatever it is they're trying to convey to you still comes through, but that you're not getting the specific details of what they're saying. Regardless, I think that we can all agree that these are high vibing souls. And I've never met a person that didn't have at least one angel on their team. So chances are you have your own personal angel that watches over you. And I really encourage you to make those connections with your team, to develop those relationships that will completely change your life and spiritual journey. That's all I have on angels for today, so hit up the comments below with any of your own experiences with angels, whether that be your guides or miraculous experiences that you've had in your life. I can't wait to read them. Don't forget to subscribe to this YouTube channel while you're here and click the notifications bell so that you'll know next time I release a new video. You can also follow me on Instagram and Facebook, and the links are in the description box below. I post daily content on both of those platforms with a bit of a more personal feel. So if you're wanting to get to know me a little bit better or check out how my life is going, come on by and visit. And always remember to listen to your heart and the quiet voice within, because you are so much more than the body you are in. Have a great day. Bye.